All right, welcome to a lower level. This sequence is going to be all seated. So once we're on the ground, just getting comfortable with your sit bones underneath you. Feet can be planted, knees can be up, arms can just be on the inside. So we're going to start here, base position. And then just letting one hip come down, one foot stays based. So I got one leg down, one leg up. And you can start bringing that elbow to the knee or the thigh. If you're looking over your shoulder, waving hello, what's up to your friend. Once we feel that, we're going to let the leg that's based, the foot that's based, to sweep in front and to sweep back. Then we'll switch sides and let that happen again. So this is our front step and back step from seated. Same language as we did from standing. Instead, now we're using our grounded hip to be our pivot point. Free leg is just sweeping over and sweeping back. You can also use this hand to link up with the leg, letting your gaze follow. So once you feel that, we're going to bring our leg back. Once we back step, hand is going to base, hip is going to come out to the side, and we're going to do what we call the butt scoot rotation. So butt scoot is a jiu-jitsu term, jiu-jitsu movement, just moving forward and back. This is used in a lot of ground combat systems. We do this by lifting our hip up and scooting it front and back by extending and bending our legs. So when we do that in a rotation, we lean back, shift to the other hip, other hand comes down, and then we pull ourselves forward. Switch, lift the hip, extend the legs, switch hips and hands, pull ourselves forward. So you can feel how that rotation happens naturally when you have the right timing with your hand and your hip. Trying that on both sides. The hip just lifts slightly. And then paying attention to the contact we're making with the ground on our hand. Fingers are spread. Weight is into that first knuckle, giving us a good foundation to bear weight. So those are our first two movements. We're going to go side to side, front step and back step. And then the third is that butt scoot rotation. Full circle there. Cool. So 1, 2, 3. After that, we're going to go to the ground onto our side. We do that in 3 parts. Hand, elbow, and then shoulder. So you got a little one arm push-up strength right here. Hand bases, elbow comes down, palm flip so I can drop my shoulder outside of the hand. And I come back up by rotating the palm, elbow, pressing up to the shoulder. This can be a little difficult to do on one hand, so you can always use both. This helper hand here, outside hand being the hand that's going to lower. I can shift the weight onto both, so I'm really doing a push-up to come back up. What we're going to do in the sequence is make that into a rotation as well. So if I base onto my right hand, come down to my side. Once I'm on my side body, I'm just going to keep my elbows in, round my back, bring my chin in so that I can roll on that turtle shell. Onto the other side, the elbow stays in, so I lean onto the elbow and then press up to the palm. With a little momentum, this will be easier, won't require as much strength. So the momentum that I have when I start, I want to keep it for that final push-up. So if we would like to feel that out a few times on each side, this is a really fun and foundational movement to get you used to rolling across your back from side to side, bringing you from seated to supine, supine to seated. Okay. From there, we're going side body roll 1. We're going to come back down on the same side, but this time we're going to transition to our stomach, to prone. So I'm going to turn 90 degrees. If I come down on my left, I'm rolling to my right side. Now here's where it gets interesting. I'm going to let my leg, my top leg, come across. Easier to use bottom and top for this transition. So bottom leg is down, top leg is over. And now with my arms, I'm just going to let my bottom arm extend first. That is going to allow me to then turn my hips down. Right now they're facing to the side. I'm going to turn my hips down by using the ball of my feet. Now on my stomach. That bottom arm that went across, now it's going to frame like a push-up underneath my shoulder. Opposite arm is going to sweep over. And now I can use my feet to help me turn my hips to the opposite direction. Now I'm on my other side. So if you'd like to feel that out, you're on your fetal position, and then you're going to let that bottom arm extend up. Turn the hips down. Hand comes by the shoulder. Free hand sweeps over the head and onto your side. So in a full speed, that looks like this. Using those active feet, balls of the feet, to help you turn the hips. Okay, so what we have 2 side-to-sides, 2 front steps, and back steps, using that arm and leg to connect. That back step brings you into the first butt scoot rotation. 2 is our magic number here. Second one of those, I'm going to let that push me off into my side body, down, and back up. Last side body roll here. Now we transition to our stomach. I'm on my back. Top leg sweeps over. Bottom arm extends up. Places underneath my shoulder. Other arm sweeps over. Now I'm here. Then I'm going to lean forward. Come up. From there, transition back, front step, into all fours. Knees can stay lifted or be on the ground. Shift my hips off, back step, hopefully right where I started. So that last transition, after we come up from our side, I'm just going to either let myself shift onto the hip to then push back the other direction, or you can have a front step and a back step to start this. So that last transition, I'm just going to go front step, turn this way, front step, active feet, balls of the feet start to engage, lift my hips, opposite hand comes down, that hip now rotates facing the floor. Knees can be down if they need. Now to shift onto my other hip, if your knees are down, then just slide them over or just lift them slightly, just so you don't grind your knee on the floor. That's no fun. And then we sit our hip down, leg just sweeps out. So that part is our last transition. If you'd like to try that side to side, my fingers are always going to be facing away. Hand is going to be further than the shoulder, so when I come into the position, then I'm stacked. So just side to side there. So going from seated to 4-point base. Okay, so whole sequence here. 2 side to side. 2 front steps, back steps. 2 butt rotations, my favorite. You can get a little dancey with the arms here. After that second one, side body roll. Remember to keep those elbows in. Second side body roll. Into our prone transition. Front step. Arms sweep up. Coming up. Push off the right hand. Into tabletop. Back step to seated. Bam. Okay. One time all the way through just so you can see it flow. Remembering to breathe, not holding that breath. Don't get dizzy.